Without any contrast of superlatives, the Northwest region can be considered Nigeria's powerhouse in the political theater. With its overwhelming population and its historical exploits, many bookmakers dare not leave the Northwest in the calculations on political matters, a force to be reckoned with and a major power broker in the nation's political tapestry. On the economic landscape, the Northwest has more than a fair share of influence with huge agricultural potential and lavish mineral deposits. Over time, this rich potential has turned out more as a parody than a reality. With the tsunami of the 2023 political transition across the 7 states of the Northwest region, there is a renewed hope that the region once again is set on a path of recovery. How has it fared in the critical areas of the region? The Northwest region of Nigeria, home to an estimated 60 million people, over a quarter of the nation's population, remains one of the most complex and deeply challenged zones in the country. Despite its proud heritage as a cradle of ancient civilization and a key hub during the Trans-Saharan trade era, the region has fallen on hard times. It now accounts for nearly 70% of Nigeria's 100 million multidimensionally poor population, despite boasting a region GDP of approximately 20 trillion naira. Plagued by rising insecurity, especially banditry, the region has become a war zone in recent years, with more than 60,000 lives lost to violence since 2023. This crisis has placed tremendous pressure on state governments to find solutions in the face of hunger, poverty, education deficits, and decaying infrastructure. How have the 6 states in the region responded to these mounting challenges? In Kano, the most populous state in the region, the once thriving groundnut pyramid has long disappeared into history. Today, Kano struggles with one of the highest numbers of out-of-school children and alarming levels of female illiteracy, both of which threaten future developments. What steps is the government taking to reverse this trend? Let's get the inside story from the state of Kano.
When President Bola Tinubu visited Kano to campaign ahead of the 2023 general election, he promised the people that he will introduce policies that will reposition the state as a commercial hub.
You are committed to the social welfare of the people, but you are not being rewarded adequately. See me. Look at me again. Make me president. That will change.
The president is already 2 years in office. How far have these promises been fulfilled? To get answers to some of these questions, we spoke to some residents of the ancient city. For these respondents, some of the economic policies of the president has hit the people of the state negatively.
We are expecting that after the removal of subsidy, they are going to kickstart with a lot of government policy that will help to better the welfare of the citizens. So far, I don't think that has happened.
The administration of President Bola Tinubu, in particular, Kano State, put so many houses, so many people in abject poverty, so many people can't secure a square meal per day.
People hardly lived on 3 square meal again in Kano. You can see that the poverty index in Kano has increased.
Taking a look at the federal government's contribution to education in the state, the people commended the president for the student loan initiative and the recent upgrading of some tertiary institutions.
If we're looking at it from the educational point of view, a federal university was upgraded, the name of a federal university was changed. 1, 2, of recent, there was an upgrade of a federal polytechnic to a federal university. When we look at all those ones, we say, okay, in terms of education and in terms of the student loan scheme, students have been able to benefit more because BUK happens to be one of the highest beneficiaries. Students in BUK happens to be one of the beneficiaries.
In infrastructure, the Kano-Kaduna-Abuja Road project is one notable infrastructure development attributed to the federal government.
The Kano-Kaduna Expressway is actually is impressing the state of the road. I ride through the road just last week, and we have seen so many infrastructural development that have come to Kano within the last 2 spaces in terms of development generally.
Kano-Abuja Expressway, that didn't achieve much under Buhari administration. But when you look at the situation under the Tinubu administration, Kano-Kaduna has been completed, sort of, because almost about 90% has been completed on Kano-Kaduna.
To me, as an ordinary, an average citizen of Kano State, I can't show any infrastructure development which is built or which is built under construction under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Maybe, perhaps, there is, but I don't know it.
In terms of political appointment, Kano has fairly benefited from the federal government. Notable among the appointees are the Minister of State for FCT, Maria Bunkuri, the Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Yusuf Atta, Pro-Chancellor and Chairman, Governing Council of Bayero University, Kano, Nasir Gawuna, Director General of the National Productivity Center, Bafatan Agundi, Managing Director, Hadija Jamare River Basin Development Authority, Rabiu Bichi, among others. However, the people believe they deserve more prominent roles considering their contribution to the president's success.
If you look at Kano's contribution in terms of even the voting pattern, so I think with respect to that, Kano should have benefited more compared to what it is now, because compare it to Ogun State. Ogun State has about 5 ministers. I don't really think Kano people have really enjoyed Tinubu administration.
The most recent headquarters of Northwest Development Commission is situated in Kano, and these are just strategies that has to do with the generosity of the presidency to Kano State.
Since assuming office in 2023, President Tinubu has not visited Kano State. However, the people are not concerned about his physical presence. Instead, they are eager to see tangible results and visible impacts of his policies in every sector of the state. Ayo Adenaye, Arise News, Kano.
Kaduna, with its proximity to the Federal Capital Territory and notable federal presence, still grapples with high poverty rates, illiteracy, and a legacy of banditry and kidnapping. Governor Obasani maintains that restoring security is the first step towards eradicating poverty and insists that Kaduna is now safe and more stable. Now let's find out what's happening in the state of affairs in Kaduna.
Kaduna, a state in northwest Nigeria, had often made headlines for all the wrong reasons, ranging from banditry and communal clashes to mass killings and burials, particularly in the southern region, was in the dire need of change. 2 years on, has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu been able to bring about the desired change? Ordinary citizens have expressed growing concerns over rising inflation and the high cost of living. Let's hit the streets and hear more from the people.
As far as I am concerned, as a citizen of Nigeria, I don't think an average Nigerian is happy with what is happening in today's Nigeria. In the last 2 years, people have gone, from those who can eat to those who cannot even eat. Several deaths, at least I am living in northern Nigeria, and I know what is happening. That I know a lot of people have died because of diseases, hunger, or diseases that are caused by hunger. And what causes this hunger? It's because the prices of things have just shot up as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, as well as the polluting of the naira.
At least Kaduna States are not borrowing now to pay salary. They have doubled their allocation of every state. And in Kaduna State here, they introduced a new federal university in southern Kaduna. Then the governor is working. People that are complaining, most of those people that are complaining are lazy people. They should go and work. Then they should stop living an expensive life that is more than they are earning.
Since assuming office as president on May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu has made a series of interventions beneficial to the people of Kaduna State. On the security front, residents applauded the president for appointing a son of the soil, General Christopher Musa, as Chief of Defense Staff, which to them has helped greatly in restoring peace in the southern Kaduna region. Analysts say Tinubu's administration has played significant roles in reducing the menace of banditry, which has long plagued many communities and disrupted agricultural activities. Furthermore, The president facilitated the safe release of the Kuriga school children who had been abducted by bandits. This swift intervention brought relief to the affected families.
The Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, before the coming of the administration, the road was like, it was the most notorious road to pass. But now, under the President Tinubu administration, the situation has gotten better. The Briningwari local government, Giwa, Chikun, and I would say part of even Igabi were the hotbed of bandits in Kaduna. But today, people have started sleeping with their two eyes closed. And this is not just mere political, statement, because these are practical. There are practical evidences that the situation has greatly improved in those areas, because in Briningwari there is a market. There is a big market, grain and livestock market, that has been closed down for over 10 years. But within this short period of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the market has been reopened. This is of economic importance to Kaduna State, not just Kaduna State, the Northwest generally, because the market is a large market where people from the North Central, from Northeast, and even from Niger come to buy grain.
The administration of President Bola Tinubu also took bold steps to improve infrastructure and expand educational and healthcare access in Kaduna State. Key among these initiatives is the award of contracts for the reconstruction and completion of critical road projects, including the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway, the Beningwari-Kaduna Road, and the Jere-Kamfanja Road. These projects are expected to boost economic activity, ease transportation, and enhance regional connectivity. In a major step towards modernizing the state's transportation infrastructure, President Tinubu approved the development of a light rail system for Kaduna. This project is expected to transform urban mobility by providing an efficient, affordable, and environmentally friendly mode of transport. In the area of education and healthcare, President Tinubu's government approved the establishment of the Federal University of Applied Sciences in Katsina, a College of Medicine and Teaching Hospital in Manchok. Additionally, the Patrick Yakowa General Hospital in Kafanjan has been upgraded to a federal medical center, significantly improving healthcare delivery in the region. Under his administration, Kaduna State received a significant financial boost with the provision of 150 billion naira in federal interventions. These funds are being utilized across key sectors including infrastructure, healthcare, education, and economic empowerment initiatives. Officials say the support has enabled the state government to execute major capital projects, expand public services, and stimulate local economic growth.
So when you take a look at even farmers in Kaduna, with the intervention of Mr. President, the state is coming back to life again. Honestly, if you take a look at for the past almost 8 years ago, farmers could not go to farm because of what? Banditry. But today, with the intervention of Mr. President, today farmers can go. If you take a look at that of Berningwari Road, that nobody, no matter who you are, you cannot ply that road for more than almost 8 years. But today, to God be the glory, is something that the road is open, people are traveling, people are doing their business, plying the road without any cause of fear.
In the coming days, the president is set to commission a 300-bed specialist hospital in the state. The state government has announced plans to recruit over 2,000 health workers. It is the hope of many residents that these interventions will speedily drive down the high cost of food prices, transportation, and medical bills. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
Zamfara continues to be the epicenter of banditry in the northwest. Yet Governor Dauda Lawal remains optimistic that a decisive victory against insecurity will unlock the state's vast mineral potential and lead to real economic growth. Sokoto, though relatively more peaceful, is still entangled in the grip of deep-rooted poverty, the ongoing reforms by the state government could provide the lifeline needed to drive sustainable development.
And now, what's happening in Sokoto as of date?
This is Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate, one of the 7 states in northwest Nigeria where insecurity has been the major issue. This is 2 years into the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the administration has intensified effort against insecurity. Yet, insecurity persists in the region, and residents in the state, while assessing the 2 years impact of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the state, have divergent opinion. Several persons score him high, while many also score him low, demanding him to do more, especially in addressing insecurity challenges that have affected agricultural activities, increased poverty and hunger among residents of the state.
The removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu on assumption of office is the policy with the most impact across Sokoto State. Residents say that decision is responsible for the increase in the price of transportation and foodstuff, significantly increasing the cost of living.
The subsidy, which actually, if the subsidy was not removed, I knew that there was going to be a huge economic crisis. But what I'm saying is that the price the country is paying because of the removal of subsidy is higher than what is saved. That is the negative price the country and the people are facing, and that is what actually hit the Tinubu's administration a very, very, negative blowback blow, and that is why its popularity has actually reduced.
One of the policies that has impacted negatively on the lives of Nigerians is the removal of fuel subsidy. When he assumed office, the day he assumed office, we were buying a liter of petrol at 200 naira per liter. But how much is it today? It is 900 plus, up to 1,000 naira. And as you know, transportation is the basis of economy. When you raise the price of fuel, you are directly inflating the purchasing power. You are reducing the purchasing power of the citizenry, thereby inflating the prices of foodstuffs and other necessary life requirements of people.
I'm not an economist, but I've had a lot of public opinion saying the economic policy is for the long term. So we are not seeing the benefit now, rather we are seeing the hardship or the negative impact. But I believe the way economists have analyzed it, I think the Tinubu government is actually laying the foundation of solid economy for the country.
On matters of security, although President Bola Tinubu inherited insecurity challenges, Sokoto residents say there is a huge improvement in security matters. However, like Oliver Twist, the call is for security agencies to ensure everyone in the state can sleep with their eyes closed.
They should look inward, try to see how they can fine-tune a better avenue which Nigerians can be brought forward. And the only way they can look inward is to ensure that there is security. Because whatever you do, in the absence of security, Nigerians will still be bedeviled with this economic challenge. Why do I say this? Merely go to most of the villages now. Villagers have run away from their villages. And these are people that they don't have education, they don't have trade, they don't have any skill. The only skill and the only education they have is their farm. And that with their farm, they don't depend on any government. They depend on their farm for survival. And now insecurity has chased them out of their farms. Now they are IDPs in their own country, IDPs in their own state. So no country, no nation would develop with such bad indices.
My local government, where I come from, is one of the local government being affected by issue of banditry. Alhamdulillah, well, it has reduced to a minimal level, but the areas, there are still villages surrounding the area, surrounding the local government headquarters, that are being affected by those bandits that are yet to be eradicated. But when you go back to Eastern Sokoto, the 8 local government in Eastern Sokoto, I think only 3 or 4 are not being directly affected by this issue of banditry. If you can remember, just last week or last month, 4 villages in Eastern local government were being forcibly displaced by these bandits. And up to
Tinubu cannot extinguish the fire that has burnt virtually all the corners of our forest, the fire of insecurity. So everything, will be definitely will be tackled gradually. And unfortunately, we have other challenges coming from, outside our frontiers, outside our borders. And Nigeria, we have looking at our landmass, we have one of the most porous borders in the world.
Sokoto State is the seat of caliphate and historically have produced very prominent persons serving at the center. This administration is no different, with 2 cabinet ministers, the Minister of Labour, Mohammed Megalidin Gyadi, and the Minister of State for Works, Mohammed Bello Guaranyo, representing the state at the Federal Council. There are also several individuals appointed into various federal government parastatal. In terms of physical project, Sokoto State is a beneficiary of 2 prominent road projects of this administration. These are the Ilela-Badagry Super Highway and the reconstruction of Sokoto-Gusau-Funtua Zaria Road. It is expected that upon completion, this road will create better access to opportunities. While the federal government also recently commissioned over 16 projects at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Kware in Sokoto State, the administration has also promised to intervene in the challenges of Guaranyo Dam to improve irrigation farming so as to boost food security.
My grandfather had an accident on the road in 1951, he died. So he has awarded the contract of construction of dualizing the road from Sokoto to Zaria, which is a plus. And there is this road, Sokoto-Badagry Expressway. It's being talked about since Mursala regime in 1975-76, where it has not seen the light of the day until this Tinubu's administration.
In terms of project, yes, Mr. President has awarded contracts, and 2 major ones, which are the Sokoto-Badagry way, and that road, if duly completed, I think is going to increase the economic well-being of the state. Although, for me, that road serves as a bait for his 2027 campaign.
As the administration marks its 2nd anniversary, the charge is for the government to create policies that will improve the standard of living and ensure the economic well-being of its citizens. Suleiman Nasser, Arise News.
With a population of about 6 million and some visible investment in agriculture, Kebbi continues to battle a 60% poverty rate and a 33% unemployment rate. Health challenges remain a concern, with malaria affecting nearly half of children under 5. Katsina, the birthplace of 2 former Nigerian head of state, presents a paradox of legacy and underdevelopment. Midway into his tenure, Governor Diko Rada is tasked with giving the state a new face.
Let's find out the state of affairs in Katsina.
For more than 10 years, Katsina State has faced a serious security crisis, particularly in the central and southern senatorial districts. In response, Governor Diko Umar Rada made security a top priority. Many communities comprising of hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced, and the displacement has added up to the already existing socio-economic challenges across the state. The establishment of the Katsina State Community Security Watch Corps marks a bold step by Governor Diko Rada in addressing persistent insecurity inherited from the previous administration. Governor Rada, who toured all the 361 political wards across the 34 local council areas, said the visit offered first-hand insight into the severity of the security crisis. He pledged to restore peace and stability.
The introduction of Kaduna Community Watch Corps illustrates our proactive approach to those challenges. The very essence of this corps lies in community engagement, collaboration and mutual respect by leveraging localized knowledge and fostering trust. We are not merely addressing symptoms, but targeting the root of insecurity in our state.
Despite these efforts, public opinion remains divided. Residents like Fozia Lol says, apart from addressing security issues, the recent boosting of the agricultural sector is a step in the right direction.
While under the current administration of Governor Duko Umar Rada, it has reduced drastically. And if we look at the creation of Katsina Community Watch Corps.
However, others believe the progress is not substantial. Umar Isiaku maintained that attacks are still happening in many areas. People are dying, and the improvement is not enough.
And the government, they are doing their best effort, even though there are some arises of here and there, new cases of the banditry and other trafficking.
With the onset of the wheat farming season, residents expect government to intensify efforts to secure farming communities and prevent further disruptions. As insecurity and economic concerns continue to shape the political narrative in Kano State, the pressure mounts on Governor Dukwarada to deliver lasting solutions. Awal Ibrahim, Arise News Channel, Katsina.
Jigawa has largely been spared from large-scale violence, but continues to face sporadic security threats, including highway robberies and attacks on civilians. The state government, in collaboration with the military and security agencies, is stepping up efforts to safeguard its citizens.
Across the Northwest, the vestiges of underdevelopment, rampant insecurity, widespread poverty, unemployment, poor infrastructure, and lack of quality education remain daunting obstacles. The path to recovery demands strong political will, bold governance, and well-thought-out policies that prioritize human development, security, and inclusive economic growth. Only then can the Northwest region reclaim its historic legacy and chart a new course towards prosperity. Benga Ashiru, Arise News.